he got the ball to his playmakers. DeAndre Swift was great. Got the ball to his playmakers and did what you needed to do to win the game. And that is growth. So, I mean, he missed a few open guys. There's no doubt. He took, there was one bad sack where he kind of ran backwards and stuff.
Yeah, and that they then got the field goal block.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so he did make a few mistakes, but I just feel like you're seeing consistent growth. And he was just more consistent and more kind of even-keeled as a player than he's been in the past.
So I just throw up Caleb's numbers for the year because this, by any metric, he's been more than solid. And this is the exact type of growth we hoped for coming into the year. I don't think, because last year went the way it did and the coach got fired and he wasn't as good as the numbers said if you watched the games, we had slowed down the hype train to a crawl, and it was no longer, light the world on fire. It was steady improvement over the course of the year and get better at the easy things while popping with some wow stuff. And I think that's what we're seeing. Like, I have changed my short-term expectations for Caleb because I think the easy stuff or the not situational, but the organizational stuff almost that he was bad at, I think was going to be a real path. So I think that was, and now the Bears that's a huge tiebreaker they now have against the Commanders. Like, that was a really important win. To me, it was more Jayden, and it's for two reasons. One is, and you guys can say this is, my preconceived notion bias on him and his body type. How many times watching that game were you worried about him?
Of Jayden?
Yes.
A few like whenever he runs, he's not traditionally sliding or normal sliding.
And so that, for a player who's played 1 1/3 seasons and has already suffered 2 injuries that made him miss time, albeit short time, but miss time in both years, I hated that. You know what I mean? It made me nervous. Like, it feels like he's playing with fire.
That's a concern. Yeah.
And if I'm just trying to be fair, if the exact game had played out in the exact way, opposite, Caleb had this wow stat line, but threw an awful pick that took points off the board, and then, with a lead with 4 minutes left, dropped a snap, we would be killing him.
But there's a reason for
No,
that.
Jayden has earned the benefit of the doubt. I agree with that, but we're in a very, to me, interesting narrative place about that year's rookie class of quarterbacks, the top 3. Because going into the draft, the going to be the best. He was the consensus number 1. After last season, the overwhelming consensus opinion is Jayden's the best. And right now, I think, maybe not overwhelming, but I think the majority opinion would be Drake May's the best. I think right now,
it'd probably be fairly evenly split with Jayden and Drake.
And so my point is, I just think it's going to be a long path for this whole class, and I do think that the Commanders all of a sudden find themselves really up against it in a very congested NFC as far as.
Can I ask you a question about Caleb? Because you obviously had him on Mahomes Mountain as a Trojan.
As a college player, yes.
And then you had him in the Super Bowl,
Yeah.
and then you kind of have soured on him a little bit.
Not soured, but I
came
lowered
back
my
the banner
expectations.
saying-
I didn't drop a banner saying I don't
Saying
like
I'm
him.
done with him.
No, I said Danny.
And now he seems to be rising a little bit
I think he's been solid.
in your book. Are there points when you watch Caleb, and I was trying to figure out how to describe his style of play. Sometimes it feels like he plays caffeinated, overly caffeinated, where there's compared to Jay, like I'm never looking at Jayden Daniels like what's going on here? Where Caleb 2-point conversion, like I'm going the, I'm like, it just feels overly caffeinated. Do you feel that way?
I think that's totally fair, and I think part of Ben Johnson's job is kind of reprogramming how he sees a football field. You know what I mean? Like what he's taking in and what impacts him. Because I think that caffeinated style is what made him so great in college.
Yeah.
He would very quickly go to instinct versus play call, and it would work.
Mm-hmm.
And so now he almost has to, pull it out of him. But I just think for the Bears, Saints, Ravens, Bengals are the next 3. That's 3 opportunities for Caleb to put up really good numbers, You know, they should win at home against the Saints, and everyone beats the Bengals. The Ravens game's really tough because Lamar's going to be back and the Ravens have to have it. But I think that it wouldn't shock me if a month from now we look at it and we say, Caleb Williams has 17 touchdowns, 3 picks, is on pace for that 4,000-yard season. Yeah. You know, and the Bears are 5-3, and you're feeling good about it.
You got to get to your Ravens, bro.
Okay.
Unless you want to have one final thing.
Quickly, I want to say, like, are you with me? Look, I'll leave it open. They're so young that I'll leave it open. Drake will be best. Jaden will be best. Caleb, whoever in this class. But right now, I saw nothing last night to make me feel like, oh, Caleb's better than Jaden.
No, we haven't seen anything in the pros that says Caleb's better than Jaden. I just think my point was 4 weeks ago, we had seen nothing in the pros that Drake was better than Jaden.
That's true.
And now I think that a lot, and maybe not you, but I think a lot of people.
And,
right, and so I just think it can all, it's fluid. It's fluid. I can't believe I said that.
You're learning. You're learning.
Ravens, not dead yet. Harbaugh was asked about Lamar giving the team a psychological lift, Brew. Take a listen.
Psychologically, how much am I leaning into Lamar coming back and playing? Yeah, I'd have to, if I was on the couch with a psychiatrist right now, if I was spilling it, I would have to say I'm leaning really hard into that, really hard, yeah. For any kind of psychological well-being, spiritual well-being, I'm leaning hard on that happening. So I'm very hopeful that happens.
Okay, Brew, Vegas has fallen a little bit out of love with the Ravens.
Not
now, the
bad.
Steelers are the favorites to win, but the Ravens are only plus 185. Last 10 years, only 3 teams made the playoffs after a 1-5 start, or last 10 years, 3 teams have made the playoffs after a 1-5 start.
Right, which is also crazy because in the last 45 years, 3 teams have made it. It's all in the last 10 is my point.
Oh, that's interesting.
From 1971 until 2014, nobody did it.
Huh.
So it all happened relatively.
Bro, do you think Lamar's return can save your Ravens?
Yes, if the defense, if what we saw last week was real improvement. Like, I thought the Rams were going to go in there and put up close to 40.
They should have, yeah.
Right? And with Stafford, with those receivers, I know Nakua got hurt, but so that defense was not the problem yesterday or last weekend. So if the defense continues to play well, they are live because the offense was averaging 30-plus with Lamar. The schedule lightens up a bit. It's a little tougher than we probably expected because New England looks good. And the key, like I said last week, the key game is Chicago. If they lose to the Bears coming off a bye in an absolute must-win for the Ravens, then that just means you're going to lose some more games going forward. Like, you're not an elite team at this point. And so, I think even if they beat the Bears, it's going to be hard to essentially sweep that division. They should sweep Cincinnati. The Browns that defense is tough. They had a little bit of trouble with them last time, even though they blew them out. It wasn't as bad as the score indicated. And look, the good thing for them is they get Pittsburgh twice, which is tough to beat them twice. But if you do, that has huge ramifications with the record. So, yeah, if the defense is really improving, and I'm not saying they got to be as good as they were against the Rams, but you're really steadily improving, becoming a top 15 defense or something, then sure, with Lamar back, they can make the playoffs, I think.
Do we have the full schedule there, Hubs, if we can put it up?
Yeah.
Here's the problem. Even if they were favored in all these games, which I don't think they might not be, the current longest win streak in the NFL is 3.
Oh, it was 4. It was Detroit, and then they lost.
So now it's
this
3.
Year has been odd.
So even if you beat who you're supposed to beat, you're gonna lose to the Jets. Aren't going 0-17.
So this is
something weird is gonna happen.
This is exactly right.
Wow.
And this is why I think they're dead. Barring a true Steelers collapse to where you can win the division at 8 and 9. Mm-hmm. The Steelers truly, if Rodgers gets hurt or something, the Steelers collapse. And I know I'm the poker player, you guys aren't, so I will try.
I've seen rounders.
Thank you.
Several times.
So if the best hand you can have is aces.
Full house.
Just stop. Just
Royal
please.
flush.
I'm trying. Can you not be a smartass just for a second?
Is it royal flush?
The royal flush is the best hand you can end with. But just put him on camera. He's so happy. Just give me a second here.
Okay.
If you give me aces every time and you get 2 random cards, and we just say we're going to go all in, by the 3rd time we do it, you're a favorite to have won one of them.
Oh.
So even though I have the best and you just have randomness, and I'm an 80% favorite every
Those are
time.
the nuts.
Okay, can you shut up for a second? I'm trying to make a real point. Even if you're...
I'm lost.
Okay,
I mean,
so let me... I shouldn't have brought up poker. God, I hate you so much.
I used to play
The
way
point
back,
I'm making
way
is
back.
this.
The flop.
So what, in English, give me what's going on.
Even if you are a huge favorite,
Yeah.
80% favorite, the odds that you win, once you get to the 3rd time you're an 80% favorite, the odds over the entirety of that is that you lose one of them.
You're going
And
to
you
lose to the
become-
Raiders like last year.
Right, and so the point that I was going to make with the schedule is you keep saying, Brew, it all comes down to the Bears game, and I agree with you, but the problem is then it all comes down to their next game, and then
No,
their next game.
yeah.
He's
It
like,
just-
he's like, pay that man his money.
Okay, I can't
From
talk to
Rounders.
this guy.
I have no
I
idea
just
what's
can't
going on.
talk to this guy.
Yeah, or you won't pay that man his money. Don't splash the pot. All right, coming up next.
know you shouldn't have brought
Coming
up
up
poker.
next on the World Series of Poker, are the Chiefs fighting back, and are the Lions in trouble? That's next on FS1, the Fox Sports Show on Sirius XM. John Turturro's like, hey, take it from me.
The Colonel believed his KFC chicken sandwich should be